Welcome, guys, to the Mark and Mark Show. This is your host, Mark Johnson. And today we're going to do a special show. I'm going to talk about a little bit about myself before we get into some news and politics. Well, first off, because they approved my show on iHeartRadio, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself so people will know, So, I'm Mark Johnson. I live in New York State. I have siblings, unfortunately. The reason why I do this show is to inform people about, today's, news topics, today's politics, and also, to try to get the community up and moving and do something about what's going on in the world today and, make a better future for other generations to come, like our generation. What else? Oh, yes. I'm very passionate about this show because I love politics and I like talking about politics. I also, I plan on running for politics in the near future, and because politics has always been my end game. Get into politics and help create and change the new world and make it better. Also, I plan on joining the military when I get a little bit older. This country and its ideals is one thing we need to keep in our memories forever and abide by them because, it's what makes us American is following the ideals of being an American. Like freedom of speech, other, like gun laws. I mean, yeah, I'm for gun laws to a point. I'm with Congress that we should make it harder for people to get guns due to make it more so they can get. Okay, they need more background checks. Because you can maybe not. I know in New York State you can't get a gun without a background check, but in other states you can, even online. It's it's not right, and it shouldn't be. It should not be allowed unless you have a background check because of the psych, their mental state and stuff like that. There's other things to it. There's a lot of things you got to take and consider about gun laws because of the liberals and stuff like that. They get sentimental over it, and the Second Amendment protects gun rights, which is a good thing. But I'm a Democrat. I'm a soul-hauler Democrat. I follow the democratic ideals and things like that. Democratic Party, the DNC. I also, I do many things. I travel around half the eastern coast of the United States. I've been to different countries. I've been all over. It's just, my life is interesting. I have a sister that is around, she's 14, that's right. Her name is Joanna. For anybody who has sisters and who can relate with me, they can be bitch sometimes. Just, I love my sisters. Sometimes I wish I could knock her out a window. But that's besides the point. I live in New York State. I do not like the state at all. I can't stand the state. There's nothing to do here in New York. I mean, besides visit the mountains and kayak and stuff like that. That's fun, New York State is beautiful. It's just there's not a lot to do. And if you're gonna do it in New York State, you got to go places that are out of your reach. You know what I mean? See, I'm a DC man. I love DC from the moment I stepped foot in it. I can't wait to. I'm moving. when I get old enough, I'm going to move to D.C. That's where I'm going to live. I'm going to retire in Hawaii. Hawaii is awesome. I loved Hawaii when I got there before. Although, not the faintest idea of swimming with sharks. I got in one of the deep sea cages or whatever you call them for tourists. I won't do that again. You're out of your mind. Oh, man. But anyways, enough about me. This is a new show. We're going to start a new slate for the Marky Mark Show as we grow bigger and bigger in the system. So, we will talk about politics. This is what I normally do, guys. I rant about Trump. I'm gonna express my opinion. I don't like him. There's some things that I would do differently than he would ever do. You know, if he changed his ideals about some of the things he says and about some of the things he says to other people, like the media. What I'm doing right now, I'm considered media. I'm a radio broadcaster who's broadcasting. I'm considered media because of what I report. I have friends with a lot of media. There's just fake news. Okay, well, we can get into fake news. Fake news, I understand how Trump, there was a lot of fake news. Yes, there has been. There's been a lot of fake news. But, you can't accuse just the media of it because the people reporting doesn't mean necessarily they know what they're reporting. Journalists, like I was talking to a buddy of mine over at MSNBC, and like he said, if you lie when you're a journalist, you get fired. That's a fact. And when Donald Trump said stuff about Morning Joe, about Joe and Micah, that wasn't right. He had no right to do that to them. No right whatsoever. He has no right. But, that's my little rant of the day with him. We're going to get some news for you guys because that's what we normally report. I get some of my stuff from mostly good news sources like MSNBC because I got buddies over there and I know they'll give me some good stories I can report on. So, let's see. Healthcare is a big act in the news nowadays because of what's going on. So, all right, here we go. Here's how the wealth gain from the GOP healthcare bill. Washington. Republicans are once again bogged down in negotiations over healthcare, with moderates and conservatives pulling the Senate bill in different directions, and the polls showing the public overwhelmingly unhappy with their plans. But the key to understanding their struggles may not lie in health policy so much as tax policy. As frustrated GOP senators are discovering, their bill is much less generous than Obamacare. And it is. I mean, what they want to do is not right. See, Obamacare, yes, it has its downsides, higher prices and everything. But in the overrun, what Trump plan is going to do is going to make it even harder because it's going to put out more poor people not to be on the health care plan. And the prices, you think the prices are going to get lower, but I'm going to tell you right now, they may be low for a year or two. They're going to skyrocket because they're going to start having taxpayers pay for it. Like we already do now, but the taxes are going to raise more. You know what I mean? Obamacare, because it spends hundreds of billions of dollars less on people's health care. And that the main reason it spends so much less is that its savings are used to cut taxes for wealthy Americans and for medical companies. How close is the relationship? When it comes to Medicaid, it's almost a one in one. The Senate bill slashes tax revenues by the $701 billion over a decade, while reducing Medicare spending by $772 billion versus current law. Overall, the Senate bill reduces federal health care spending by $1 trillion. The result, more Americans without insurance. That is the big issue right there. It would work if we had more Americans with insurance instead of more Americans without insurance. That is the big issue that everybody is caring about. Okay, according to the Nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, the bill would cover about 22 million fewer people by 2026 than Obamacare. Which is true, that's something that, we're 2017, okay? 2026 is, 2026 is far ahead of us, okay, for right now. That will make our economy suffer. Without Americans on healthcare, it's going to make our economy suffer. It might be easier to make this trade-off if the Americans losing aid for healthcare were the ones benefiting from the tax cuts. It would. But unless you're paying a penalty under Obamacare individual mandate for deciding to go without insurance, you're unlikely to notice the difference in return, guys. Instead, the biggest gains from the bill by far go to the top 1% of earners, and especially the top 0.1%. The individual taxes, the Senate would eliminate a 3.8% surtax on investment income and a 0.9% tax, payroll tax. Only applied to single filers making over $200,000 and families making over $250,000. See how that, and I have graphs here, but I can't explain them. I can't explain them while I'm talking because it's so technical for me. Anywho, but if I had a show where I could show you pictures, I would. The cost of including these tax cuts, or even for the small numbers of high earners, is not chump change either. The Center for Budget and Policy Priorities estimates the bill tax benefits for the 400 highest earning households in America alone are equal to the cost of keeping Obamacare's Medicaid expansion in 4 states that cover 726,000 people. Yeah. So, on the spending day, the bill requires people to pay higher premiums, To buy a private plan similar to what's available under Obamacare. It accomplishes by this reducing spending on subsidies and distributing them in a way that encourages people to purchase higher deductible plans with lower premiums. At the same time, it eliminates Obamacare subsidies that help lower income people pay their deductibles. Okay. Here, too, the lower end of the economic spectrum fares worse than the higher end. The nonpartisan Kaiser Family Foundation projected premiums for people making over and under 200% of the federal poverty line, about $24,000 a year for an individual. And they found the biggest spikes came for older income customers. The CBO has also found this group would have the hardest time funding affordable insurance under the Senate bill. So, guys, the healthcare bill that they're discussing now. I'm going to put it to you this way: it's a joke. It is a big joke because it's going to lose. A lot of Americans are not going to be able to pay it. And it's going to make people more in debt and more in poverty. It's not worth it. Keep Obamacare. Find a better plan. Trump's going at this. He wants this done, and he wants this done fast. No. Wait. Make up a good plan. A very, very good plan. That may take a couple months. Obamacare is still here. It's still working, until you can find something right. That's all I can say about that topic because, it's just so messed up. The Democrats and the Republicans aren't working together to get this bill signed. I mean, they are, but they're not.